Y'all done set my baby on fire. What kind of bullshit is this? Y'all cooking Jacksons now? That's what we doing. We making Jackson soup. What the f is going on here, Pepsi Cola? Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, tell a friend, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com for our book club tote, because we've been reading with Uptown NayRob. And if you are not already a part of the book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, child, let's continue reading this big fat ass book about Michael Jackson. The first order of business for 1984 was the filming of the two Pepsi-Cola commercials. Michael was still unhappy about the endorsement, especially when the Quaker Oats Company offered to support the Jacksons' tour with a sum that was 40% more than offered by Pepsi-Cola. Though the contract was already signed with Pepsi, John Branca did try to get Michael out of the agreement. However, Catherine was asked by Don to talk some sense into Michael. The Pepsi Cola deal was back on. From the beginning, it was understood by everyone involved that Michael would have complete quality control over the commercials. His brothers could have no say about the footage, which was fine with them. They were being paid a hefty sum to do the commercials and were satisfied. Let me tell you why I like the brothers. Like I've said before about girl groups are too petty. They too on that bullshit. Like I said about En Vogue. F all that other stuff you talking about. Let's get to the money. Where's the money? Don't get me wrong. I think it was, what was it? It was 4 lead singers in En Vogue. Okay, and it was always a fight about who was getting the money. Okay, and who was going to get the lead on which song. My thing is, I don't give a frick as long as you letting me get to the money. So when you got Jermaine Jackson, like, I don't care what Michael do. He could pull his pants down and piss on a Pepsi Cola. As far as I'm concerned. As long as we get to the money. I respect that. I'm not fitting to let no bullshit get in the way of me and the money. After a few meetings with Michael, the Pepsi Cola executives were worried. As it happened, Michael's friends, Paul McCartney and Jane Fonda, had told him he had made a mistake in agreeing to the commercials because the result would be overexposure for him. Michael decided that one way to rectify the problem was to make sure his face should only be on camera for one close-up and only for a maximum of 4 seconds. I kind of like the way they did the Pepsi commercial because it gave us Michael, but it didn't. Like, it was everything that represented him, his brothers, his moves, his Jerry scary curl, or his scary curl, because that shit did get scary after a while. We'll get into it. His shades, Alfonso Barbero. There are other ways to shoot me rather than push a camera in my face, Michael insisted to 3 exasperated Pepsi Cola executives in a meeting at his home. Use my symbols, shoot my shoes, my spats, my gloves, my look. Michael was like, you could even have the Billie Jean. Okay, I'll let you use the Billie Jean, but what you won't do is make this commercial solely about me, because I don't believe in the Pepsi Cola. Michael Jackson, I want to know and understand, how do you believe in a soda or not believe in a soda? I believe Pepsi Cola got caffeine in it. I believe that I like the Coke over the Pepsi Cola. I believe that Pepsi Cola set Michael Jackson on fire. But I don't believe in the Pepsi Cola. I don't get that part. He just doing too much. 3,000 people were seated in the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles in order to simulate a live concert audience. The Jacksons were to perform You're a Whole New Generation, which were special lyrics to the music of Billie Jean. Prior to one of the takes, the brothers were preparing themselves for the shooting, adjusting their outfits, putting on their makeup when Michael had to go to the bathroom. Go ahead, use mine, director Bob Giraldi suggested. Don't worry, I'll just be a minute, Michael said. He went in and closed the door, girl. And then they heard a blood-curdling shriek. They do too much. I know y'all be like, I be on them Virgos' ass, but y'all just do too much. If do too much was a picture, it would be the Virgo. He in the bathroom. Oh! They come running to the bathroom like, what the fuck has happened? I dropped my glove, my rhinestone glove in the toilet. Everybody's like, oh, Lord. Michael Jackson and dropped the shiny glove in the toilet, okay? Now, they running around trying to find things to fish out the glove out the toilet. Let me tell you something. I done dropped worse in the toilet. You hear me? One time I was so drunk at a Redskin game that I bent over, forgot that my phone was in my back pocket. Okay? And I mean, that toilet was full of pee. You hear me? Because I had some beer. I told you I was drunk as shit. This is years ago when I used to be drinking before Lulu came into the picture. Maybe when I tell you that phone was swimming around all that pee and toilet paper. But fuck it then. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Then Michael himself was like, oh, okay, all this drama. But you caused the drama, Michael. All this drama. I'll just go in and get it. And pulled it out. The glove. They washed it. All of the brothers, except Michael, had arrived at 9 a.m. Tito acted as his brother's stand-in, taking Michael's place for the purpose of camera angles and other technical positioning. Michael, the star of the show, would not arrive for hours. By about 6 p.m., the group performed their number for the 6th time that day. This time so that Bob Giraldi could make technical adjustments. Finally, tape began rolling at 6:30. As he had done during each rehearsal, Michael began to descend from a podium by going down a staircase amid brilliant illumination. His brothers were lined up on stage playing. A smoke bomb and pyrotechnics exploded as planned, momentarily blocking Michael from view. First the pose, that unmistakable silhouette. Then a magnesium flash bomb, which went off with a loud bang, 2 feet from Michael's head. As Michael headed down the stairs, the smoke became thick. Something wasn't right. He began to dance. He did a turn, and another, and another. After spinning 3 times, he popped up on his toes. He was hot, literally. When he turned, there was an audible gasp from the audience. The explosion had set his hair ablaze. He would later remember feeling the heat, but said he thought it was generated by hot stage lights. He continued to perform, but not for long. When he felt the burning pain, Michael pulled his jacket over his head and fell to the stage. "Tito! Tito!" he yelled. Y'all the one that told me that he screamed for Tito first. What does that tell you? Bob Giraldi would recall the film would later show that while his hair was burning, he was trying to get his jacket off. Maybe he thought it too was on fire. He did 2 quick spins though and put out the fire by his own force. The first to respond was Miko Brando. That's Marlon Brando's 22-year-old son. And one of Michael's security staff. I ran out, hugged him, tackled him, and ran my hands through his hair, reported Brando, who burned his fingers in the process. For a few disturbing moments, no one seemed to know what had occurred or how to respond to it. There was chaos and pandemonium. Jermaine would later say he thought Michael had been shot. When Michael was taken away and he did not return to the stage, it was difficult for the authorities to keep the crowd calm and orderly. Screams filled the auditorium. Since no one in charge could give an accurate report, audience members began to develop their own theories. Most believed that it had been an assassination attempt on Michael. In order to avoid fans and news media, the authorities hoped to transport Michael through an exit from the back of the theater. However, Michael insisted on exiting where the crowds and photographers could see him. He wanted to be able to show the ensembled crowd that he was all right. In truth, though, he also knew a moment when he saw one coming. No one could ask for better public relations. "No, leave the glove on," he told the ambulance attendants as he was being prepared for the stretcher. "The media is here. No matter the pain, shock, or hysteria, the showman prevailed." The videotape of Michael being loaded into the ambulance became the lead story on all news broadcasts that evening. Y'all, I was crying. I was hurt. Y'all done set my baby on fire. What kind of bullshit is this? Y'all cooking Jacksons now? That's what we doing? We making Jackson soup? What the f is going on here, Pepsi Cola? Michael lifted his hand with what appeared to be his very last bit of strength and waved to the cameras. As he was being wheeled out, as he would later tell it, he noticed several Pepsi executives huddled together with anxious expressions. They must have realized that the accident could become the catalyst for one of the biggest lawsuits in show business history. Michael Jackson could own Pepsi by the time the smoke cleared. I don't know how Pepsi Cola, well, we're going to learn later, but I don't know how Pepsi Cola survived that. You done set my Michael Jackson on fire? And you expect for me to still drink the Pepsi Cola? Michael was taken to the emergency room at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where he was treated with an antiseptic cream and bandages. He was offered a painkiller, but because of his disdain for narcotics, he turned it down. Soon, though, he realized he needed it and accepted one. You know it ain't 2023, because nowadays you could go into the emergency room. Hey, look, I left my arm in the car. Okay? I'm hurting. I'm in pain. I need something. Okay, sure, ma'am. Whatever, mister, your arm is over there. Whatever. And when he get in there to see the doctor ain't gonna offer him nothing but an ibuprofen. Here's your ibuprofen. Excuse me? My arm is in the car. You want me to take an ibuprofen? Answer yes. We'll give you what they call them, twinkles, twilights. We'll give you one of them, the Tylenol PMs. But that's the most we'll do for you, sir. We'll go get your arm. We'll sew it back on, but I don't know what to tell you, sir. Michael had been fortunate. His face and body escaped injury in the accident. He suffered a palm-sized patch of second and third degree burns on the back of his head. Only a small spot, smaller than $50 and actually more like a quarter, received a third degree burn. Doctors said most of his hair would grow back. Ironically, Michael had visited Burns patients at the same hospital on New Year's Day. By Saturday, according to nursing supervisor Patricia Lavellas, Michael was singing in the shower. He spent the morning watching American Bandstand and Soul Train. Who the hell didn't? That's what you do on Saturday morning. That evening, Michael, Steve Hoffman, who had performed Michael's rhinoplasty surgery and is chief of plastic surgery at Brotman, and others in the Jackson entourage, including John Branca, watched a videotape of the accident to determine just what happened. As soon as the accident occurred, John's partner, Gary Stifelman, seized the tapes from the cameraman. Pepsi didn't have any footage at all. Michael had it. That's it, Michael said. I want the tape released to the public.
You say that you love me.
Okay. But I don't believe it.
I don't believe you.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Yes.
Oh, you say that you love me.
Yes. But I don't believe that
Oh,
shit.
I don't believe you. You out here playing with each other and bitches.
Okay, tell him, Binta. I'm in it.
All I want is to be happy. No more begging on my knees for you to say, keep your word, keep my tears. No more.